Welcome back, guys. I hope everybody had a wonderful week.
Did you guys experience anything spooky? If you did, put it in the comments.
You guys seem to like the videos that me and Amber did about the ghost stories, so here are a few more. Have you had any weird paranormal dreams?
Yeah, quite a few.
Because I have had one, but there was I remember waking up and there was a woman in my face, like an older woman, and it like scared me. Like I actually could feel a person. You know how when you can feel somebody's next to you, like in front of my
It,
face, I could feel that there was somebody there, which is what woke me up. So I thought,
where were you?
oh yeah, this is my mom's house, the where she lives now.
Oh,
I don't remember if I even told anybody about that.
I don't remember you ever telling me about that.
It freaked me out, so I told myself it was a dream. I mean, it still could have been, but it was. I've had actually quite a few messed up dreams at my mom's, but that one really stands out because I was sleeping in her bed too. I remember that when everybody was in bed asleep. It was like in the middle of the night because it woke me up because it scared me, and I was like, "What the hell?" But of course, nobody was there, so probably thought I was just losing it.
There was a dream I had that I consider paranormal just because, I mean, it doesn't make sense not to be. I think that in a way she was telling me that what I was going to find out the next day. But I can't go into too much detail about what happened to her, but I had a relative that was even trying to describe that the YouTube standards are definitely not going to allow it. Let's just put she was disassembled, and there was animals involved with her disposal, and somebody, of course, did that to her. But that happened when I was very young, and I was very close to this person. So when she was, her passing affected me a lot. Flash forward to me being an adult, I didn't live anywhere near where it happened. The date that I had this dream had no significance that I knew of to her, so it wasn't like I was thinking about her, and that's why I had this dream. In the dream, her and I are sitting like in a basement, and there's two folding metal chairs on either side, and just one light bulb in between the two metal chairs. And the dream was third person perspective, so I could see myself and I could see her. Jolene, friendly cricket.
Huh?
Did your friendly cricket?
Oh.
Um, in the dream, I'm sitting in one chair as I see myself, and she is sitting in the other chair. However, she does not look like I remember her. She died when she was very young. She was only 18 or 19 years old. In the dream, she was aged to where she would be if she was still alive. In the dream, she's telling me over and over again, I'm not dead. I'm not dead. Don't believe them. Don't believe them. They're hiding me from you. I'm not dead. So, of course, I instantly wake up from that dream because that completely fucked me all up. And, there was nothing strange in the room, dogs sleeping at the end of the bed, everybody else in the house sleeping. The next day, my mom always watched the 6 o'clock news. And on the news, they showed that her killer was being released that day. So I have a feeling that somehow in a weird way that was her telling me he's out, you know? Then,
Wow.
but that was one paranormal dream I had. Probably the one that shook me the most was that one. And what shook me the most was that she was aged. Like, how would I know that? Why would my brain do that?
Right.
If it was, you would think if it was my subconscious talking to me, that it would be her as I remember her.
I remember I was sleeping on the couch, but the dream felt super real to me, and still to this day, I don't have a clue. Like, there was a fire, like, behind, like, in the house or whatever behind me, and in the dream, I'm also on the same couch that I was sleeping on. And my daughter was yelling, she was yelling mommy or something like that, but I could not get up off the couch. Like, I could not get up. I don't know if that was sleep paralysis, because some people say that they see stuff with the sleep paralysis, but I never thought that I did. It was like I was watching myself on the couch. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm explaining it horribly, but I don't know what it was. Like, why I would have a dream like that.
Was there ever a fire in that house?
I don't know. I never looked up any. I probably should, but I don't know. I never put that much thought into it. But I remember it because it freaked me out. Because it felt so real, and I couldn't move.
Were you trying to get up in the dream, or just
yeah.
get what you were trying to?
But it felt like I couldn't. Like something was, stopping me. That's why I say sleep paralysis, because that does it, and that crap happens to me a lot. I usually don't see anything, but this time it was like a whole dream of it. I've never had another one like it, not like that.
Thankfully, never experienced sleep paralysis, and I don't want to. That's not an experience I think I'd find fun.
That shit is horrible. I don't know what that's all about, but that is horrible, and I hate it when it happens. It is just, the worst.
Well, it's supposed to be your body's asleep, and I suppose some parts of your mind are too, but there's a part of your brain that's awake and trying to move, but you can't because your body is still in a sleep state.
Like,
so that's
I can't move, and I know I'm always trying to scream because it feels like I can't breathe, but I can't scream. Like, I can't. It's horrible. I hate it. Cricket hates it too.
Are you gonna give him a name?
Yeah, it's about to be called Jim. But I did have one more dream at my mom's that was just as messed up as the other two. And this one was, I was shot in the head, like in my mom's living room, and I could feel myself dying in the dream, but then I woke up like when I would be dead. Are those not fucking weird?
Yeah, I don't remember ever. I mean, I've slept in that house a million times, and I don't remember having weird dreams or.
And it was even like it wasn't close together. It was, over a span of the whole time that I lived there. But just those three.
Just those 3 incidents were the 3 times you had the weird dreams?
Yeah. I had a couple experiences outside of, dreams there, but not like a whole lot. The dreams stand out more than anything else. I was in the bathroom once, and I had just gotten out of the shower and was bending down, how the corner is next to the sink by the door. I was bending down there to grab my stuff, and something, I felt a psst, if somebody did that in your ear and you could feel the wind and everything from it.
I remember you telling me about that.
I heard that in my ear, and I instantly got chills and was like, what the? I thought that there was somebody there, but I was in the bathroom and there was nobody there. That freaked me out.
I don't remember ever experiencing anything weird at the house your mom lives in now, except the dog thing, that weird growl on the back porch that I don't want to know what it was.
Yeah, that was strange as well. It could have been a dog, but for whatever reason it didn't charge us.
When you and Nikki investigated that school that she worked at the daycare in, Did you have any experiences there?
I don't remember investigating, but just working there, we had experiences. I remember her telling me that because it was like in a room that looked like a classroom, because it was a school, and it was the baby's room. And there was like clipboards and stuff that they would keep like on the chalkboards or on the walls and things like that. And I remember she told me that that moved by itself one day. Her and the lady she worked with were both telling me that.
Was it her telling me that you could leave chalk in one of the rooms and somebody or something would write on the chalkboard? Was it that school?
It really could have been, because she told me a lot of weird things happened there. And the bathroom in that building was the creepiest. Like, I hated going to that bathroom.
Jolene's sister, tell me in the comments if that was your story about leaving the chalk in a room that was no longer used and finding writing. I want to say that there was a name on the chalkboard.
That very well could be. I should have, wrote this stuff down. I never thought to, actually document any of this crap.
Like when I lived on Washington Street and had a lot of paranormal experiences. For one, other people were experiencing it too, so I knew I wasn't crazy. I knew what didn't have anything to do with any of the partying we were doing or any of that stuff. Because, if it was like I got too drunk and I was seeing things or something like that, you wouldn't see the same hallucination. Or, other people in the room wouldn't see the same exact hallucination that I did if it was that related, because hallucinations are created from your mind. So I knew it wasn't that. But I didn't know what it was. If I talked about it outside of the people that were experiencing it with me, the looks I got was like, yeah, right. And you still get that look when you talk about it now, even 20 years later. You start telling people that you have had these paranormal experiences, and I've had paranormal experiences consistently throughout my life. Like, when I was a little kid, weird shit happened, or I would see something that nobody else did, it seemed to be, and I don't know if it's a gift or a curse that I remember that. But it's not something that people want to talk about because they're afraid of other people's reaction. Do you remember when me, you, and our friend in Florida investigated that small cemetery right there by the high school? And me, you, our friend in Florida, were walking through the cemetery, and our friend in Florida stopped by this little baby grave, and it just said baby. It was so old that any name had been washed away. Yeah, old school recorder, the kind of little tiny tapes. And she had it going, and she just walked up to the grave, and she said, "Aw, baby, I'm sorry, what's your name?" And on the recording it said, right. It was really hushed, like a whisper like that. Just, I remember that. I remember being excited that we actually caught something. Just out there with our little cameras and video, or not even video, just tape recorders.
Yeah. There was another cemetery, though, that we went to. Remember that really little one by my mom's that's out in the middle of nowhere? That we all... Yeah, I think 3 of us went. And we, had the heebie-jeebies there really bad. I don't think we stayed very long. Do you remember that?
Going to one, I don't remember where it was, but yeah, we all got up or got out, walked 2 feet in, and it was like, fuck this, and walked back out. Or do you remember that happening?
Yeah,
but I don't remember where it was.
That place just had a horrible vibe.
When I lived in Albion, when we first moved there, I didn't know anything about the town. We'd only been there a couple of times randomly in the past. I did not know that the place I moved to had one of the most documentedly haunted cemeteries in Michigan. No clue. So I was really stressed out at this point. I was in college, working, all kinds of things going on at the same time. So, and my house was always chaotic. So I went to the cemetery and I figured quiet place. They're not talking. Just go clear my head and get a little alone time. So I drove to the back side of the cemetery and not really in the middle of it, but kind of in the middle of it. There's this round, like, it looks very ritualistic. I have no idea why they put this there. I think it was like maybe meant to like gather there, like, after laying someone to rest or something like that. But it looks very ritualistic. There's like statues and benches in a circle, and it it's like eerie. So I sat down on one of the benches, and I was just had my eyes closed, leaning back, and it was about dusk. It wasn't dark, but it was starting to get there. And I just had my eyes closed, and I was leaning back with my head on the bench, and I heard footsteps run around the circle. So I'm like, all right, that's an animal, chipmunk or something. I open my eyes and sit up, and I'm looking around so I can see whatever it is. And then I hear it again going around the opposite direction. The only problem is I'm seeing the footprints go down in the leaves, but there ain't no feet there. So I stood up and I said very loudly, I don't know who you are, but you are not invited to come with me. You have a nice night. And I got into my vehicle and I drove home. But I never went back in that cemetery again, anywhere close to dark or by myself. Supposedly, there's a lady in white that everybody talks about seeing in the cemetery. Never seen her, but I didn't really want to stick around to find out what those footsteps belong to.
Right, I wouldn't either. It would have been like, time to go.
There is, I know somebody else that has experienced something very similar to that in that cemetery, and I'm gonna try to get them to come on and tell their story. But my favorite part about their account of what happened is it's two perspectives. It's the person that was in the cemetery experiencing all the footsteps, and then a person outside the cemetery watching what was going on and still having a similar experience. Now, the other person was my brother. Since we lived in a haunted house, he doesn't mess around with anything remotely haunted. And if people say that something's haunted, that's the last thing he's going to do is go in there. That was the situation. Him and his friends were like, I'm going to go check out this haunted cemetery. And they were like I said, I'll let them tell the entire story because I don't know it all. But he was standing outside the cemetery and witnessing his friends have a paranormal experience. And when they told me what happened, because I seen them directly after, they came running in the house, and you could tell they were shook, all of them. And when, they were recounting what happened, I told them then that this would be something that you should write down, just because it is a multifaceted kind of perspective where it's not just one person or two people having the same experience. It's somebody on the outside of the situation watching that experience play out.
Right.
That's why if you have a story that you think is cryptic or whatever started your curiosity, and you think that you don't want people to know that it's your story, but you still want it out there, please use that email address. I don't care if it's a video clip, I don't care if it's a sound clip, or if you sit and write it and type it out. Tell us the story. We'll use it on the podcast and tell it, and you can be included, or your name can be included, or you can do it anonymously. But I think that having the conversation of we're not alone and this stuff does happen, and people need to be aware that this stuff does happen, so maybe we can collectively figure out what it is.
If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell to get notified every time we upload. And until next time, bye!